Hey guys, it's me. I was going to go a further update on my two builds today, but unfortunately I've had a little bit of a hiccup and it's my own fault. Reason being, I was going to basically put the base coat on all the running wheels and the main running gear on both the AS90 and the Tiger, but Sir here didn't check his paints and unfortunately I ran out of XF1 matte black. So I'm afraid it's going to be a trip up over to Hobbycraft tomorrow to continue with it. So in its place, I'm doing this in-box review. And if you look at this kit, it's not unlike the one that Sebastian Schoof recently reviewed. He actually did the Hobbyboss Hinton. This is his opposite number, which was one of the other prototypes within the Porsche Bureau. This is the Vorne, which is with the turret at the front of the actual main chassis. This is the one that was decided upon going into production. Only about 17 I think of these were built, including the prototypes which were used towards the end of the war in action. As you can see here depicted on the illustration, it's actually looking as though it's out on its trials, as you can see here. There's obviously got the staff car in the background, two observers, one with his pet dog, and there's the actual command up there running the tank in. Okay, right, without further ado, we'll go on with the review. And if you want to get hold of this kit, the kit number is 82444. That's 82444. On the side of the box here, you've got the indication of the etched brass grills that come in with the kit. There's an overhead view of the actual tank itself. And then on the other side, you've got the other two front and side views of the vehicle itself, again with the colour call out. As you can see from this prototype, it's overall sort of panzer grey. Okay. Now I know a few of them, when they were in action, actually did have camo schemes, but as I say, this one didn't. Right, let's open the box. There is a lot of sprue inside, but first off, we'll do what I normally do and run through the instruction sheet. If you open up the instruction sheet, first off you've got the colour call out, which you see here, and indicating where all the various decals go. Down here you've got a colour call out from Mr. Hobby Colour and a conversion chart for Vallejo, Model Master, Tamiya and Humbrol. So that's going to make life a lot easier for you guys out there. Okay. Then with the instruction sheet, as you can see here, you've got the on-box illustration at the top. Various symbols to help you guide through the process of the construction itself. Inside you've got your normal sprue tree with all the kit parts, as you can see here. And first off you assemble the hull, basically start with the lower hull, then moving on to the upper and lower hulls together, and then you go into assembling the running gear, as you can see here. And up here, and then basically putting some sub-assemblies onto the lower hull, adding the idler wheel as well as the sprocket onto the vehicle, and showing you how to assemble both of those wheels. I myself, again, will only be putting that on very last. And then obviously it's telling you how to assemble the jack, which goes onto the rear plate of the vehicle along with the tow bars, and then basically assembling the upper cradle for the engine hatch, and then putting the grille over the top, adding the fire extinguisher as well as tools and the grab handles for the engine compartment. And also at the front here you would then basically add the headlights, the vision port for the driver's station, and obviously the machine gun nest right there. Adding the tow ropes at the side along with more tools, and this shows you the layout right here. Okay. Going on to the other side. Right. Again, you're adding more of the grills to the top of the hull, along with the more spare tracks. And then you've got the, I think that's the ammunition pack, which goes on the front of the vehicle, along with the wheel hubs. And then basically the other tow bar goes on the other side, along with the rods for the barrel. And then just down here it's showing you how to assemble the track-to-track links, which you actually usually get with most Hobbyboss kits. Then it's the assembly of the upper part of the turret, and indicating that the interior is painted white, because believe it or not, this kit does have a full interior. Again, you've got the inner surface walls which are attached to the upper part of the turret, along with the cupola. You've got the grab handles there for the hatches, or is it the telescope? I'm not sure. I think it's the grab handles for the hatches. And then you've got the vision ports which are assembled into the cupola, and then basically you put more of the interior in, more sub-assemblies again, along with the fire extinguisher, and then assembling more of the ring for the commander's cupola. That then goes onto the top of the turret, along with the grab handles, vision port, and obviously the loader's hatch. And there's your side hatch as well. Okay, and you can have the option, I think, of having the hatches opened or not, and you've still got interior detail at the back. At the back here, you've got the loading hatch. Again, you can have that open or closed, as you can see from the internal details. And then you add the upper hatch as well for the commander's cupola, if you should so wish. Okay, I personally might leave them open just so you can see the interior, because it is very highly detailed on this kit, as you can see from here. Okay, you put more of the sub-assemblies in, the brake wall for the commander's position, and the loading racks where all the actual ammunition goes, as you can see here. Then you've got the periscope which goes in, etc. And this is showing you how to put the shells onto the racks, as you can see there. Alright, going down, more sub-assemblies for the interior workings, in fact, of the turret cradle, as you can see here. It's very, very highly detailed, so that will look fantastic with a wash. As you can see, we've got more of the interior of the cradle built up on all the stages of the instruction sheet here. So it looks a fantastic interior, I have to say. And I'm sorry if I'm skipping over that, because obviously I don't know the full interior workings of this particular vehicle. But this is how it should look with all the actual shells at the back here. Adding more detail. As you can see here, more sub-assemblies, and then the assembly of the actual breech itself, which is highly detailed, as you can see here. Absolutely wonderfully detailed. And then you obviously got your machine gun, which goes on the upper hatch to the side of the actual breech, which you can see here. More, in fact, you've got the commander's actual periscope as well, an aiming point. That is then added to the lower part, the internal workings of the turret. Then the upper part of the turret goes onto the lower part. Okay, and then finally you basically assemble the two halves of the barrel along with the actual front of the actual gun. Forgotten what the name of it is, so I'm sorry. My brain's not working tonight. Then obviously assembling the mantlet, add that to the turret. The turret goes onto the main lower hull, and there you are. That is it done, my friends. Okay, as I say, you've only actually got one colour option, and that is overall Panzer Grey. Now comes the most interesting part, some of the parts of the kit itself. And as I've said, you've got a highly detailed interior of the internal workings of the actual turret. You can see here it's beautifully, crisply, cleanly made. All the sub-assemblies, there's not 1 ounce of flash. There you are, part of the breech, as you can see here. Internal workings of the loader's hatch. There's the front mantlet. And again, there's the actual walls for the turret as well. It's absolutely festooned with detail. It really is impressive. So hats off to Hobbyboss. And even the internal workings of the hatches as well. There you got where all the racks go for all your armour. As you can see here, it's very, very highly detailed. So hats off to Hobbyboss for that. And again, you've got more internal workings for the interior of the turret, which you can see here. In fact, I'm just going to unpack some of this, because you've got the commander's cupola here. I'll just take this off, because this is just to protect some of the sprues, because they're very, very delicate, as you can see here. The level of detail is absolutely incredible. It really is, guys. And even the shells, the armour-piercing shells, are very well moulded, as you can see here. Absolutely superb. Right, I'm just going to put this protective sheet back on, so that I don't lose any delicate parts on this kit. Okay, right, that's that. So just put that back in the box lid. Again, here we go, we've got the tools, as you can see here, some of the sprockets and the idler wheels. Beautiful detail on there, will come up absolutely lovely with a wash. As you can see here, very highly detailed. The only thing I'm disappointed about, you haven't got the wood grain on where the ammunition pack is, right there. So yeah, that is a bit of a disappointment, that one, guys. But then you got the parts of the jack, which you can see here. Again, they're very, very highly detailed, superb quality. And then obviously you've got the barrel rods right here, nicely caught. And this is the final drives for the sprocket. Again, lovely detail. You got your spare tracks on there, nice detail again. So I'm really, really pleased about this. Again, there we go, we've got the internal workings of the actual cradle of the turret. Again, I love the way they've caught all the rivet detail. Whoever's done this has certainly done their research on the interior of this. Again, that's the upper part, the internal workings of the turret, and various sub-assemblies there, which you can see will look absolutely superb once inside. Really nicely done, guys. And here's some of the running gear. I won't take it all out because I don't want to lose it all, but as you can see, the detail on it again is absolutely astounding. Hats off to Hobbyboss, they really have done their research. I really am going to look forward to building this kit as and when I get around to doing it, I must say. Okay, so I'll put that back inside the bag so we don't lose it. And then obviously right here you've got 1, 2, 3 packs of link-to-link tracks. They're probably going to be a complete pain in the butt, but if you persevere, at the end of it, I'm sure you're going to get one hell of a lot of a good effect and results. And then right here we've got all the extras in the metal etched brass. Again, there's superb detail with the grills, and on the back here you've got a nice copper tow rope, so that will look very effective. As for the decals, you have got some numbers there. I think, guys, if you want to do one that was operational, you're going to have to do your research. So what they're like to use, I'm not sure, but I'm sure they're bed down well. And then finally, we've got the turret here. Again, they have caught some of the casting detail very well, because I think most of this was an anti-slip surface because it was quite plain, but I have to say the weld seams on these are beautifully caught, really nicely done. As I say, you've got the internal workings here. Why they've done this like this, I'm not quite sure. It puzzles me, to be honest with you, but there you go, that goes inside like so. And obviously you've got the rear loader's hatch right there. And as you can see from the shape of it, it's very much like the early Porsche King Tigers, as this was the same exact turret. So again, I love the detail where they've got the weld seams there. That is very nicely caught. Again, with the upper hull, nice smooth detail there. It was obviously a very much an anti-slip surface. Being a prototype tank, it's very similar, I would say, to the Porsche Tiger in terms of the engine grills, etc., and the shape of it. Quite an impressive beast. If anything, it's probably on an equal size or nearly the same size as the King Tiger itself. And then last but not least, you've got the lower hull. Again, there's not a lot of detail, I have to say. I was a bit disappointed with this. But on the bottom here, again, they've caught the weld seams very, very nicely. So there you go. I mean, altogether, this looks quite an impressive kit. I'm sure it builds into a beautiful kit once it's done. Very reminiscent of the early King Tigers, which I think this is where he's basically were stemmed from. Had they gone into full production, who knows what the wheel would have turned out like. What their record was, I don't know. As I say, it would be fascinating to find out. I think a few of them were used in the last battles, especially during the Battle of Berlin. But there's no real records of them, to be honest with you. But a fascinating tank, something unusual, and you can see the sort of thoroughbred lines of the King Tiger in this. But all in all, it looks to be a superb kit. And in case you're wondering, yes, following Seb's review, I've also got the Hinton as well. But I won't be doing an inbox review. If you want to see this one, just go to Dutch Modelling and Seb will guide you through it. But again, this detail on this one, as well as the Vorne, to be honest with you, superb. And I'm sure they both make superb kits when they're built out. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. So I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, leave your comments and subscribe. And as I say, I will give you a further update on my 2 builds, possibly later this week, as I've got now holiday for nearly 2 weeks. So I'm going to make the most of it, guys. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. So until the next time, get kit crazy, happy modelling, and I'll speak to you soon.